What's up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome to the Warframe video. So, we're going over one of my favorite weapons from the Heart of Deimos update today, and it's actually not even that good, but I still like it. So, before we get into it, make sure you sub this YouTube channel, hit that bell for notifications when the videos go up. And also, we got a Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Gaz_TTV. We have a lot of fun discussing stuff and going over videos before they even come out, and just, talking trash. So, alright, we're going over the Zymos today, and that's going to be a pistol that comes from the Father NPC on Deimos. You can also buy it from this bundle, which comes with some other stuff, but we grinded it out from the vendor. And something to keep in mind, and something I will be mentioning in all these upcoming Deimos weapon videos, is that they've actually made a new level of grind here, where you're not just building the blueprint for the weapon. You're actually building the barrel for the weapon, which has a build time. You're also building the handle for the weapon and all that stuff. So you're actually building the weapon parts, which have a build time of 12 hours, as well as building the blueprint after everything's done. So it's about 24 hours if you have all the pieces put together for this weapon. So keep that in mind. I'm going to be judging it a little bit harder than usual, but thankfully these weapons from Deimos have some unique gimmicks that make them a little bit better than you would expect. Alright, so you've got the Zymos right here is a pistol. It's going to have 5% crit chance, 2.3 multiplier, so that's pretty much like really low crit chance, not really moddable. We'll do a Crip Build just to show how that works. 1.33 fire rate, really low fire rate, but they make the shots count with this thing, let me tell you. 17 magazine, honestly just like too big of a magazine for what this thing's actually doing, but whatever. No innate multi-shot, 3.2 second reload, so terrible reload speed, really bad reload, and then we've got 30% stash chance. That's pretty high stash chance. But terrible reload, and the magazine is like, it's just a weird feeling weapon, so don't worry about that stuff too much. When our damage types on the impact of the shot is going to be puncture and impact, 23 damage, and then the damage of it will actually explode as well, and that's going to cause 61 toxin damage in a 3.3 meter radius. And it actually, I swear, it does more damage than it actually shows on the arsenal right there. So this thing has AoE shots, so if you shoot at your feet, you will get knocked over really hard. It's just going to shoot out some like, infested bullets, pretty much. So the gimmick this weapon has is that, let's just pause these guys real quick. If you get a headshot with it, it releases like a swarm of evil bees that attack the enemies around. So on body shots, it's actually pretty underwhelming. That's a body shot right there. So it did proc a good amount of stuff. But like, if you keep you're not going to kill them with body shots anytime soon. When you get a headshot, here's what happens. So you hit them in the head, their head expands, and then like they release the bees out of their head. So it basically becomes a beehive, and then you kick the beehive, and the bees come out and start stinging everything. That's like the way I'd explain it. But if you don't get a headshot, that's not happening. So it's a very headshot dependent weapon. It's very good with Harrow, because Harrow's first ability, Condemn, if you haven't subsumed it, will lock the enemies in place and make it so they're basically just sitting ducks for you to like keep releasing the bee swarm. So the bee swarm, as you see, there's basically no crits happening, but they're getting lots of procs on them for condition overload. So you gotta be pretty careful so you don't actually die. So if you're trying to go for a Riven on this thing, I'd say go for damage and multi-shot, and then maybe even some status chance to jam even more status chance, because just to remind you, over 100% status chance nowadays actually is viable. So yeah, I'm going to put some gameplay in this. It is what I just did right there, unless you're playing Harrow or like Cora or someone like that, who stacks up headshots easily, it's not very good. So here's the build I'm running. Now, since we have a terrible reload speed of, I think it was like 3.2 seconds, I'm going to run Prime Quick Draw, so we're just not having to waste so much time. If you're going to be not running Prime Quick Draw, there's also Eject Magazine. You can put the Exilus slot. But at range, it's kind of hard to hit headshots in mission without lethal momentum, which will increase the projectile flight speed. So basically, no crit on this first build. You've got Viral and Heat, which is some of the best damage multipliers, and it's also a good setup just for normal missions as well. You could do Corrosive and Heat, or Viral Electric. It's really up to you. I went with Viral Heat because the heat procs actually will burn enemies to death. And since we don't really have crit, we're going to put on Augur Pact in the last slot for more upfront damage. We've also got a very good Riven for this weapon. Like I said, damage multi-shot going to be your best bet. We got damage multi-shot cold, Mice Infested. So this will help us get to Viral and Heat really easily, and it gives us a lot of damage. So it's definitely really nice. So let's just quickly show it on these guys when they're not paused, just so you can see how it is when you're trying to like, get headshots, trying to stay alive, all that kind of stuff. We're going to run Harrow. Alright, so these are level 175 gunners, to be fair. So, I mean, yeah, if you don't run Harrow, like, good luck, pretty much. Like, we'll show it with Anaros in the mission. But it is nice with Harrow because it does have a 2.3 multiplier at base. So if you get guaranteed red crits from Harrow, it tears through them. So we're going to show the Crip Build after this in a second. Alright, so yeah, it's pretty fun. Of course, if I go for body shots, it's very underwhelming. Those guaranteed red crits are from Harrow's 4th ability. That does not normally do that at all. You can technically run Arcane Avenger, and there's the stagger if you get too close to the enemy when I'm trying to shoot him. See, if we didn't have that reload speed mod on there right there, we would have died, because it's a very, very long reload time. And we almost died there anyway. See, you might think you're hitting a headshot, but you're probably just hitting their shoulder pretty much. You gotta be really, really specific where you're shooting this thing. So it's honestly not really a killer. Like in level 50 missions, it might be doing a lot better, but for level 175, it's gonna definitely be like a CO procer for your melee. So let's show the Crip Build real quick. So if we put on a primed crit chance mod, it goes from 5% crit chance to 14.4. So it's not really changing much. The primed crit damage mod, on the other hand, is helping you out. You're going from 2.3 multiplier to 4.6. If you were to fully max, that'd be like 4.8. So yeah, and we're still, it's pretty much the same build, just no reload mod, so it's gonna take a lot longer to reload. So we're gonna just do that. I'm gonna put invincibility on just so I'm not gonna have to jump around to protect myself from the enemies. So this is with crit here. No Arcane Avenger or anything like that. You could run Arcane Avenger if you wanted to. Now you see, we didn't even get any crits there, and that was with a crit chance mod on there. There's one crit. And yeah. So, honestly, like, you might ask, why do you like this weapon? Like, it does not seem that good. And it honestly is not that good. Here's the orange crit cat buff. It's just because I like the bees, honestly. The sound effects from the bees coming out of the enemy's head, I find that funny. And it actually can do some good damage. If you remove the enemy's armor, like with Zaku, if you remove the enemy's armor with Zaku's second ability, or like with any Frame's ability, I've seen 100,000 plus damage with no crit on a fully unarmored enemy with my Riven. So let's just quickly try that out with Zaku. I know Zaku will be getting a rework, so we will be doing a Zaku full video in the future. And yes, he has a mustache, Rhino. Alright, let's get the Zymos here. I want to actually test something really live here really quickly. I want to see if you remove the enemy's armor with the gaze, if it's actually going to let you create headshot bee swarms off of the frozen enemy. Find this out live on video. So gaze is going to lock her in place. Now can we actually create the beehives? Okay, it's very good with Zaku, because look at this. You remove their armor, and now you have a beehive infinite spammer right here. So, pretty good stuff. Definitely a good Zaku gun. Boy, is it even creating the beehives? Yeah, it looks like it's creating the... No, it's not creating the beehives. I thought it was creating the beehives at first. It looked like it was. Either way, their armor's removed. No, I'm not getting beehives. Alright, they actually thought about that on Zaku, and you're not allowed to create beehives. At first, I thought it was. Like, they're taking the procs, at least. And if they get close, it will hurt them. But, yeah. It remains to be seen if that actually was creating the beehives or not, so... Yeah, they might have thought about that and prevented the fun. D, if you're watching this, make sure I can make beehives out of this enemy that's frozen in Zaku's 3, please. That would make things a lot more fun for Zaku. That would be a good buff right there. Some good synergy. Alright. Let's get into the gameplay. So this is us in the Baro Katir Steel Path mission. I clicked Steel Path on accident, to be honest. So, yep, we just rolled with it. So we're protecting Baro from the Steel Path Night Watch Napalm Grenadier. And this is like a good interpretation of what Zymos will be doing in mission. It's pretty unwieldy. It's got a little bit of recoil. It's got terrible reload. Pretty bad fire rate. And it requires headshots to do anything useful. So this is what's going to basically be like in a mission. You're going to be like, oh, that enemy is like way too inconvenient to shoot right now. I'm just going to use melee. Because you don't want to get staggered. If you're not running Anaros with like Negation Swarm, which I didn't even have Negation Swarm up here. I had it up a little bit. You're not running Prime Sure. Like, I usually run Prime Sure Footed, to be fair. You're going to be falling over, and that's not what you want to happen from your Condition Overload procer. That's why one of the reasons the Kuva Nucor is so good is because I mean, a lot of the really good ones, like the Zocti and the Cyanex, that used to not stagger you before, after they changed self-damage to not be a thing anymore, they actually do they do stagger you now, and things like the new core, the Deimos, Sinnoh Gamma core, they dodge the inconvenient nerf of self-damage. So, or not self-damage, self-stagger, which is in some situations more annoying than self-damage in my opinion. Also keep in mind, we were running a Riven in this footage, and we were also using Roar on the Naros. So it does not normally do this much damage, because we have a pretty good Riven as well. But as I said, like, it is a lot of grind to get this. You need to build the barrel, and you also need to also build the other part and put the blueprint together. So I'd say, like, I mean, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. Real talk right now. There isn't much content with Deimos. All right? They're padding out the weapon grinding, because you got to build the barrel and you got to build the blueprint. So if you want to have fun with the new content, I'd say go for it. Try out this weapon. Maybe don't put too many forma on it. But if you try it out and you're like, this is fun to me, maybe they'll make it so Zaku's 3 actually lets you create the bee swarm. That would be nice. But as it stands right now, we don't got much stuff to do. So if you want to try out this weapon, be my guest. I think it's kind of fun. It's definitely nothing meta-defining, but it's like a nice little toy to play with, pretty much. It creates bees. It's got pretty good damage. I've seen 100k damage plus shots on it without a crit. And, yeah. Can we do better? Yes, we can. The Kuva Nucor annihilates this thing. The Kuva Nucor and this thing will never even go to the same club together. So, yeah. Also, the terrible reload is awful. Of course, you could run primed, or not primed, eject magazine to automatically reload it when you are meleeing. But then again, why aren't you just using the Nucor in that case? So, yeah, that's basically going to be it. Let's just quickly show it with Harrow and the Riven before I call it here. And I'm going to go to sleep and go to work in like 4 hours. So, alright, get that Harrow stuff stacked up here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. More videos coming out every day. Got plenty of video ideas. Just trying to make sure I am super busy. I am working 2 jobs, and this is basically the second and a half job. Content creation. But whenever someone tells me that like they enjoy the videos and like it helped them, that makes me super happy and makes me definitely feel like I'm doing the right thing here. So, as you can see, they have full armor, and that one-shot him. So this is potential of what this thing can do. They're taking zeros for some reason. I don't know what it is. One-shot that guy from full health. And she is she going to burn to death? No, she's not. The bees will get her, though. Alright, so if you like to be a beekeeper in Warframe, this is your weapon. She's super CO proc, just one tapper after that. And yeah, like I said, I like this thing a lot. Probably like one of my favorite weapons from the update. But, you know, maybe it's just making the update more fun than it actually should be, because it's all padded content. I'll talk to you guys next time. Please like, share, and subscribe. Peace.